All right, guys. I'm doing something pretty special today. Before I go over that, just want to let you guys know that I tried to sleep earlier last night and took melatonin, and it ended up making me sleep past 9 a.m. By wanting to sleep early, I slept in. Isn't that crazy, right? Now, keep in mind, my job may be a little different from yours, right? My job is not based on like how many hours I work, but more so on the quality of decisions that I make, okay? And the quality of outputs that the whole entire organization makes, right? So the difference between a CEO and someone who may be working by the hour or through different tasks is that if you feel great, you're better off feeling great and working less hours than working like a horse, feeling like shit, getting no sleep, only to make shitty decisions and to actually not even move the needle, right? So for me, I don't necessarily regret when I end up sleeping in and just like waking up feeling amazing, because now I'm actually about to get to cooking, right? And first things first, just want to update you guys. I got some feedback on the Sales OS kind of like system that I built that builds the sales playbook and that clients are able to role play with before they even get into the market that they're going in. So people loved it. The only thing that was a little tricky is the fact that now they're separate systems, so their outputs are kind of like found in different places. So now what I was working on this morning is figuring out how we're going to connect all of them moving forward. Are we going to use a no-code platform? Something like LangFlow, something like Flowise. I just discovered Flowise. I was aware of LangFlow, but I had not seen this platform called Flowise. It looked a lot easier, simpler, right? You can essentially build agents. I'm going to show you guys. So it's a platform where you can essentially build these agents, no code, and yeah, it looks kind of sick. It looks kind of simple to the degree that I can even build it myself. But look at how cheap it is. It is pretty crazy. I don't understand how these businesses make money, right? So the idea is, I don't know necessarily if I'm going to build it myself or if I'm going to get the team to build it and to code and build the whole thing. But because this Flowise unfortunately doesn't allow you to have your front end designed by you, so I think you just kind of like make it almost on an automation basis, which I don't necessarily like. I would like to make things that are actually things that we can personalize, things that we can build from scratch. So I have a meeting in 2 hours to speak with my team, and that will be good. But now what I'm about to get into is the following. We know every step, right? So every single month we work with around 30 to 50 new businesses, right? And these 30 to 50 new businesses every month that we work with is the following. We go into specific fields, specific verticals, specific markets, and then we understand what these people are tired of being sold, right? Then we figure out what the 1% is doing in that field that the rest of the market is not doing. Then we figure out what mechanisms we can install into their businesses to get them to reach that 1%, right? So we do that first phase. Then we figure out how are we going to communicate it? What sales letter are we going to leverage? What funnels are we going to leverage? What is going to be the go-to-market, right? Lead gen, appointment setting, sales. What infrastructure are we going to need there, okay? And then, okay, cool, how are we going to fulfill? Now, traditionally, I have people who are experts at all these different functions, including me, right? But moving forward, I think we can do all of this with AI. So what I'm literally about to work on for the next 2 hours is I want to do an entire playbook to be AI enabled, AI augmented, literally AI led. But for me to do that, I have to go back to the foundation and work my way from the front to the back, but through AI. Right now, I've already built a lot of these agents, these GPTs, these assistants that can do a lot of the heavy lifting already. But now I'm like, okay, can I actually do it for the whole product? Now, here's the idea. The reason why I want to do this is because, unfortunately, not everyone can work with us and give us $12, $15, $18, $25,000 for us to be their their partner in growth and in validating a specific market, right? But if I turn our playbook into AI, and you can just leverage our AI, playbook and our growth infrastructure, growth systems, these agents, then I can sell it for a lot cheaper. So all this work that I'm working on right now that you guys are seeing is so that I can distribute what we're great at to more people. And the truth is, I cannot keep hiring people because it's so hard to scale people. Like, if there's one lesson that I've learned, one of the best things that I'm going to work on is, after I've built this thing, I want to get into building management, but with AI, because it's so hard, people management, right? It's one of the most complicated. Listen, we don't have to go over that, but it's really, really hard, okay? So right now, that's what I'm about to get into. And yeah, I'm gonna update you guys later on, and maybe see if you guys, if I end up achieving and figuring it out, okay? Love y'all, bye-bye. So I just spent the last 90 minutes working on this just product design, and I leveraged AI. AI, unfortunately, was not as good at creating a specific flow for it, at least not based on our playbook. So I realized that I'm going to actually have to take over, which is something that's funny because I was listening to, I don't know, this company. They're an AI company, and even though they were leveraging AI to kind of like code and do a lot of the actual heavy lifting, one of the things that they were not letting AI do so far is designing the actual products, right? So humans are still the ones designing the product, and I kind of like felt it when working on this. I realized that AI is not good enough to like take in information and synthesize it so that it's really, really clear. Because you have to understand that for me to be able to help you achieve an outcome as fast as possible, the idea isn't for me to brain dump everything I know. It's to figure out what is the minimal viable insights that you need to go from not knowing something to knowing it, and then to taking action on it, and then to seeing the rewards and the outcomes of doing the thing. Instead, what AI will do is it will kind of like just throw things in there just because it is there. So it's not really structured in a minimal viable path. I don't know if I can use that word. So that's kind of like what I did. But now what's funny is I didn't know OpenAI has, or ChatGPT has, this agentic workflow, which is we figure out the structure, but then I don't necessarily want to build the Lucy chart like I do a lot of them. So it actually said, hey, connect me with your Whimsical account. And I gave it access to my Whimsical and said, hey, I'm going to go cook for the next 2 hours, and I'll get back to you once it's done. So I guess I'm going to check. My team did say that sometimes it doesn't update you. So I'm going to log back in and see if it will have delivered the actual process map for the product, because I need first a process map before we actually go section by section, maybe creating the content, building the AI systems at each layer. So yeah, that's what I've been cooking for the first 90 minutes. And now I'm about to get on a call with our kind of like building team, integrators, engineering team, to just kind of like realign and focus and see where they're at, and also let them know what we're building on the actual product and playbook. Because yes, I'm the one designing the product with the head of success, but they're going to be the ones to integrate all the AI solutions that we're building into an actual app, into an actual product that that can actually become an actual system. Okay, so I'm probably going to record some of that. This video is going to end up being super long, but who cares? Just enjoy. I don't want to necessarily create the most in-depth, like where you have to spend hours and hours going through the whole thing. Like, I literally would like if people could literally go through, like in 1 week, they can go through the whole end-to-end process, which is by Monday, you get clarity on your offer, market, you get clarity on what the system should look like, you get clarity on maybe how to position it. Then by Tuesday, you already have kind of like, okay, cool. How are you going to go to market? lead flow systems. Next day you have appointment setting. Next day you have your sales assets, all that good stuff. And then by Friday, it's like you're ready to literally launch, right? And then the only thing that's left is like, okay, the back end. Now the back end fulfillment process and everything like that can be, so that's kind of like it. So we're going to, so add it there. Just create a project with this structure so far, and then we'll go in and actually compare it to a process map and this here, and then decide, okay, let's align on what we're going to build and what we're not going to build and what we're going to remove. Since we're talking about product, maybe before you guys go into the updates of where we're at, so we've built like a bunch of different GPTs, and one of the feedback that came from clients is, yo, this is really sick, but I'm having to go from one GPT to go search for the outputs of the last one. And then since I use GPT so many times, I have to literally lose myself into the GPT. So it's almost like, then my question, which is something we're talking about, is clients are already using the shit out of this stuff and finding it valuable. Now my question is, I know focus is really where we want to go, but are we able to make progress on building the GPTs into the actual app without having it create so much friction and noise and distraction from the actual work you guys are doing for the content agent?
I don't know.
So
what Albert
for me,
but yeah.
Yeah, so I'll walk you guys through priorities, so what the timeline looks like. So I think let's lock in this content stuff. Let's just build an MVP, something that people can use, right? Because I think we've been just pushing it back too far, like that, like, because building the app where people can use, even though it's valuable for clients, it's not the most urgent thing because they already have people they can ask questions. They already have the help to solve those problems. So it's actually not really that big of a priority for current existing customers. But next month, one thing that I want to do is we want to launch a product where literally it's self-serve. Let's build a company for you, right? And we have a webinar on the 21st of June, right? So that means that by the end of this week, what our job is, my job, Haisam, is we are going to build an entire library of GPTs that work sequentially into like from the moment someone signs up to the moment literally they're making money, they're delivering. How can we turn our frameworks into GPTs that people can use on their own, right? So this week, while you guys lock in on the content, which by the way, I looked at it, it's fucking sick, it's insane. We're finishing up all the frameworks and productizing them so that once you guys are working on the platform, then we're finishing up so that we can come to you guys, let's say next week or sometimes beginning of next month, and be like, hey guys, we have the next 21 days to like lock in so that clients don't have to go through humans to get value. Can we now build this app where it's like they go from this agent to this agent to this agent to this agent, and have their database be there so that they can literally always go back to. Does that make more sense on priority wise?
Yeah.
All right, guys. So now about to make an omelet as usual. But one thing I want to show you guys is this new platform that just released called Clark. Okay. Essentially, it does kind of like the same thing that Lovable, Bolt, all these kind of like prompt platforms where you can just use natural language to ask it to build you an app, or at least a front end of an app. Now, what they've done is that you can now do it for enterprise. Okay. So what they essentially done is they're trying to go after this market of these big, gigantic software companies like Salesforce, even things like HubSpot, that go to these businesses and then get them stuck with them because they own the back end that they run their business on, right? And then what this thing does differently is it allows you to literally rip everything up and build it from within and have it aligned with your current infrastructure. So this girl prompts it to go in and actually build Salesforce. I'm going to show you guys.
Superblocks. Salesforce ads typically cost millions of dollars to make, and today I'm going to show you how to make a custom CRM app with our new Clark AI agent. So I'm going to do that by prompting Clark to build a Salesforce-style CRM to view and manage contacts, accounts, and opportunities. The homepage displays the sales funnel pipeline by rep, region, and CCV. I'm going to pause the video here and come back when Clark is done generating. Looks like Clark is done building and it's already looking pretty good. The cool thing about Superblocks is everything is visually editable, which means I have complete control over the components and can move them around. Now let's take a peek into that opportunities details page and let's try to make it look more like Salesforce. And I'm going to ask Clark to help me do that. I'm going to ask Clark to help me make a progress bar so I can track the state of my deals. I'm going to ask it to show visual confirmation and email confirmation. So I'm going to accept those changes from Clark on the left and index into one of those deals. Now let's watch this deal move from in proposal stage to in review stage. It's going to mark this deal as complete, watch it move to review, and get that email confirmation. So there's no vendor lock-in. Everything that you or AI writes in Superblocks is just code. Change this chart from being horizontal to vendor lock-in permissions.
This is insane. Now, one of the things that I'm afraid of is, what do people who are still going to school learning? One of the most important, hardest skill to acquire is coding. And now it has been democratized. If you can speak English or any language, you can tell what you want created and it will create it for you. It will code. I don't know what Salesforce valuation is, but so maybe someone who's editing this can literally share the valuation. Look at the valuation of this company. And now this Clark platform allows you to rebuild what Salesforce has spent over a decade, probably almost 20 years building, all with one prompt. The fear I have is not necessarily, well, first of all, there's two fears. It's like people aren't leveraging AI to do their job today and who probably aren't as competent as people who are software engineers. What are you guys doing? And then the second fear I have is kids who are going to school today who are not being taught through AI or learning to use AI to learn and to build are so cooked. But the problem is the time for the education system to update and to catch up to what's happening in the world, by the time they do it, I mean, to be honest, fuck it. Let's just revolutionize the education system ourselves with content. Let's just cook, right? But this is insane. This is insane. And I'm so excited about this world of building. I just got off a call with our engineers and our platform is coming up really nicely. We're also going to be building another platform. But for me, my goal is I want to democratize building a successful company. From point A to point Z, AI just cooks your business like this. Boom, 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 boom. And then you need marketing agents, sales agents. That's also do boom, 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 boom. Done like that. Oh my God, it sucks. Anyway, let me cook my fucking eggs. Bye.
No parking garage in this big ass truck. If it was once, then it might have been lucky. If I did it 2 times, then stand for something. All my niggas say I'm fucking the game up with all of these bitches. I'm paying too much. I'm getting a lot of money, I ain't tripping. If I ain't part of sale, I ain't sipping.
All right, guys. So just came into town, primarily because I want to go work out, and I also want to work from a coffee shop because it's been 3 days of working from home, 10 hours straight. So don't necessarily feel like doing that again. So I'd like to switch it up. And now I normally would go to a coffee shop to finish what I have to get done. But I want to write an email with something I have on my mind. And the best way that I can do that is to just go for a walk and put the computer aside and just write down my thoughts. So yeah, I got my phone. Got headphones and going for a little walk. And then just sit down and then cook. I'll tell you guys what I write about shortly. Jeez, why is this thing not moving, not focusing? I feel like when you're working on your computer, it's so easy to get distracted and to just look at Discord, answer questions from people. So when I'm on my phone, I don't get any notifications, so it's easier for me to log in. Anyway, that's that. All right, I'm done. Let me show you guys what I wrote. Also, check this view out. It's pretty sick, but check this out. So this, I'm about to send it to my email list. Just gonna put it in GPT, try to remove all the grammar errors, and then ready to send it off. Let's go. Just play tennis. Pretty bad at it, to be honest, but I did it just for cardio and it was pretty fun. This is good cardio to get the blood flowing. Let's go. Okay guys, I'm bringing you guys something pretty exciting. If you guys remember in the last clip or in the last videos, I showed you guys this app called Clark, right? At the same time I was cooking and now I'm about to make an omelet. Literally I have this thing cooking. But today, I have even something more exciting. Clark is mainly building these enterprise level internal apps, allowing a company that's maybe paying Salesforce 500 grand, $1 million a year to be able to recreate Salesforce internally, right? That's cool, but it's not really useful. Like I'm not going to replace GHL or close.io, all these CRM platforms. I don't really care, okay? But what I've been doing is productizing all our expertise, our frameworks around how to build companies and scale them past 6, 7-figure, multiple 7 figures a year, even past 8 figures, right? Because we already have that. We know how to pick markets. We know how to figure out what gap to solve. Then we know how to leverage AI to bridge those gaps. And I've been building a lot of agents that essentially have our frameworks around how to go about finding these markets, right? But the biggest problem is, how do I then deliver it to clients? I've gotten them to use these systems. They've said, hey, the problem is I'm using this system. It gives me great output, but then I have to go take this output and then put it into this new system so that it can run the next workflow. So then the solution is to build an app. But unfortunately, my team is building other apps, so they don't have the bandwidth, and I'm not going to build a crazy engineering team and start spending 6 figures a month. I'm already spending enough 6 figures a month in payroll. I don't want to add that. So I wanted to figure out, am I able to build the app myself? That's where Factory.ai comes in. So check this out. I've literally been building this since this morning. I started earlier today. All you need to do is literally prompt what you want, okay? Give it access to your computer, okay? And it will literally go and code while you're cooking. While you're making your eggs, your omelet, this thing is going in, figuring out what it needs to download, figuring out the code, figuring out what's broken, okay? All these workflows, running through each one, figuring out what's broken, right? And then on the side here, it goes in and actually codes the thing. It is insane, right? Thinking about what next to do. Reasoning models take longer to respond, right? And all I have to do is just accept. And as I accept the thing, I don't even know what it's doing in my account. It might be scamming and taking all the data from my computer, but I don't really care. It's worth all the risk. And then on the side here is going in and cooking. Do you guys understand what's happening? The world is changing so much. It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. What the fuck? The thing with market selection is that as you're doing it through the actual like the research, you may end up honing in on one thing that's maybe smaller and more niche, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But what will really dictate the decision is who are you guys getting on calls, and who's qualified, and who actually gives you money. Because none of the research is just helping you kind of like dial in and lock in on a specific avatar, on a specific ICP, but on ads, you get new data that may not necessarily be congruent with the actual research process. So the goal is like, yeah, you may have in mind like, oh, we want to help like interior designers, but then once you get on ads, you will actually end up attracting other people who have the same pain point, and the job is going to be then to optimize for like, okay, cool, yes, I'm getting all these people in, but who, when they show up and when we show the solution, is infinitely more excited about the product and who actually ends up buying faster. And then you optimize then the ads to only talk to those people, and anyone who's not that avatar, you just kick them out of the funnel, and then you might send them to, let's say, like a community, of course, because the goal is not to necessarily, everyone has money to buy, but when you're starting out, you have to optimize for whoever is going to buy the fastest and pay the most, and who gets the best results too, right? But for the VSL to hit really big, is you have to start with a big statement, which is you've been told that this is what you need, and you've actually came to believe it. But let me ask you this: solutions for this problem already exist. Why are you still stuck? The reason why you're still stuck is because you're focusing on the wrong bottleneck. You're focusing on the wrong problem. And if you know anything about business, I mean, guys are not going to talk to them about theory of constraints, but you should probably restructure it and reframe it and make it more simple and say, in business, it doesn't matter how many things you do. If you're working on the wrong bottleneck, you'll not grow. And what's happening in your life is that you've been focusing on the wrong thing. You've worked with agencies left and right. And right now, what we've realized from having studied this market is that the biggest bottleneck is that you guys don't have systems to actually convert what you already have and re-engage them. And on top of that, because you don't have that, then you're stuck in the day-to-day. So now we're actually coming in here. We're not just going to give you more leads, more quality appointments, but we're actually going to help you build an engine that helps you convert these what you already have. And if you believe that that's what you need, then apply below. We'll walk you through the system we have. We'll not only do that, but we'll be happy to implement it to your business. You don't have to necessarily keep paying us a retainer. We're incentivized on helping you own your success and have a predictable machine working for you. And then if after that, if we want to keep working, build more systems together, we'd be happy to work together, right? Like that's kind of like going to be the pitch.
Yeah.
This new Morgan Wallen album is so good. It is so good, right? If you guys don't like country love songs, country songs, I'm not really a big country guy, but I do fuck with country love songs. Morgan Wallen, Jordan something, Brett Young, and a lot of women who do also good country music. I forgot their names, but I have a crazy playlist. I might actually drop it in the comments. If you guys want country love song playlist, I literally have it right now. Comment below, and then I'll leave it in the comments, okay? But I'm getting ready to head out. So there's this thing about performance where I've realized that moments where I go weeks and weeks with just locking in and cooking, where I don't necessarily get a break in the sense that I don't get a moment of disconnecting, it actually ends up being counterproductive, primarily because we all get in business because we want to be free, okay? And then eventually you get so good at what you do that you end up trading the outcome that you were chasing for just the sake of cooking. But unfortunately, even if you do enjoy what you do, sometimes you get moments of being like, yo, I already have everything that I want, but why am I still trading my life for this thing without moments of living, right? So for me, I like to prioritize, at least have one day of the week where I'm going to do something that's counterproductive. Okay. And the way that thing could literally be going out with friends, drinking a glass of wine or two, and just being unproductive, just doing dumb shit. Okay. What happens when I do that is that the next day I may not necessarily be as optimal as I would have been if I would have just slept really good, focused, wake up feeling great, dialed in, right? But the following week of productivity is always insane. And the reason that's the case is because us humans, we're not computers, right? We're almost like we're supposed to hunt and then take a time to just chill, think, strategize, and then go back again. When you're always go, 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 you're not at your peak state. Your peak state is when you've been doing nothing, and then you're like, oh, this is the path to go. This is the plan to it. This is the plan of attack. Now go be productive. But if your way to becoming the person, the one, is just productivity, output, 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 well, if that was the case, then people who work 12 hours a day, their 50 years of their life, would be the wealthiest people. But unfortunately, they're not. Working hard is not rewarded. Working smart, and the only way you can work smart is you never quit. And the only way for you to never quit is to never want to quit. The only way to never want to quit is to not want to do something else. It's to not be tired of what you're doing. But I promise you, even if you're making millions of dollars, you can easily burn out because you end up realizing that all the moments of life, of hanging out with family, of maybe giving up on money that could have been made on a weekend to just spend time with, nurturing relationships, being present with your friends, bonding, and just maybe building a family. Being outside, finding a wife is probably the most productive thing that I can ever do for my life because I can make as much money as I can. But if I'm not able to reproduce and make a family and have kids, I can actually enjoy this wealth, then what's the fucking point? Right? At the end of the day, life is meant to be lived. No amount of success will make up for the fact that you got sold by this dream, and we all know some guys online who don't have families. Yes, they're building these amazing companies, but it's like, who wants to say they have $1 billion, but no one to share it with? I would love to make so much money and just be sitting there and looking at my kid or my son, be like, oh, I started driving a Porsche GT3 at 9 years old. I learned to drive a GT3 at 9 years old. Or have my daughter, or my brother's daughter, or my cousin's daughter be like, oh, I'm going this little trip in Italy, in the Amalfi Coast. We're also going to hit south of France with her friends. And she's like, hey, do you want to come with me? Oh, it's okay. You don't have to cover anything. Just come on this jet. We're just going to go all friends. It's all an all paid trip. And I'm just there. I'm like, all the sacrifices were worth it. Because for me, getting on a jet, spending $100,000 to go on a jet, to just go outside and get drunk, I'm just going to come back with a hangover. I'm not going to enjoy it. But seeing your family enjoy the fruits of your labor is one of the most rewarding thing that a human will ever feel. And it's counterproductive. It's almost like, yes, you get in the game because you're selfish and you want all the things to yourself. But funny enough, I get the most pleasure from seeing someone else live a better life from my efforts. Right? So anyway, all this to say, it's okay if you're not perfect 100% of the time. It's okay if you're not outputting your maximum output every day of the week. It's fine. Rest, recover, rejuvenate, remind yourself get out of the busyness and just be unproductive a little bit, and then miss being locked in, right? Miss a little bit of being at a high output at all times, and then also optimize for other things, right? Like, don't just be someone who's just locked in cooking and just being like, oh, I'm so dialed in that like I'm perfect. Yeah, who cares if you live to 150 years, but your life is just to be optimal? That's not a life. That's slavery. Anyway, I'm gonna go outside. I just gotta find what shoes to wear, because I don't know what shoes to wear. But yeah, let me know if you guys resonate with this chat, right? Like I don't know. I just if I go weeks of just productive, even if like I just looked at our P&L, and right now we're at 10x return on ad spend. We spent 100 grand and made $1 million, right? Cash. That's income. That's not revenue. And I'm like, oh, okay, I could make this video about the fact that I spent 100 grand and made $1 million, but it's like, there's nothing, like that doesn't even fire up any emotion or dopamine about me. Not to the level of like, oh, I'm about to go outside with a good friend of mine from high school. We're gonna drink, I don't know, we might drink a little bit of wine, we might drink tequila, who cares? Like, and we're just gonna, meet up with this other client who just moved recently to Montreal. And that is more exciting than the fact that my business spent $100,000 and made $1 million in cash collected. Do you understand like how weird that is? I'm sure the me who was starting out in this journey could never fathom, first of all, being able to have $100,000 in ad budget, but then building a system of value and a team that then turns 100 grand into $1 million. That would have been like, wow, I would trade my entire life to get to the point that I'm doing that. But I'm like, today, I'm like, no, I don't want to trade shit. I just want to go be present. I'm like, cool, who cares? There's someone out there who spent $100 million to make $1 billion, but that person is not necessarily happier than I am. It's just a numbers game. It's like, I can still go figure out how to spend $1 million to make 10, right? Like it's like, I'm not my business. I'm just someone who plays a game of business. But like Serge is not client acquisition.io. And I hope that you guys never confuse my brand with like, oh, I'm gonna be there, I'm gonna sacrifice my life so I can show you guys how to get great returns and like get rich, and the only thing you guys know about me is the fact that I have money. Like, that would be so sad. If you guys only relate to me because of money, oh my God, that would be the worst personal brand that I could ever build. And it is so sad that people's personality is literally their money. It's the watch they have, it's the clothes they wear. Who cares? Who cares? Who are you? What do you like? Who do you like? Right? Talk about who are you inspiring to go for more? Right? So anyway, I get fired up when I think about this, because I see so many people like so insecure about who they are internally that they end up sacrificing their entire life to make it financially. And they think that that's going to categorize them as the person. You will never, in my eyes, or to be honest, in any person's eyes who's actually confident in themselves, you'll never be the guy or the girl because you've made it financially. The only people you impress because you're rich are poor people, are broke people who just put money on such a pedestal that they're like, oh my God, this person drives a $500,000 car. Oh, has a $500,000 watch. Okay, cool, so what? You also buy candy. Would you look at someone who works a minimum wage, they buy candy, and you're like, wow, this person is able to afford candy? No. So the same thing, if someone makes $50 million a year and they buy a $500,000 watch, who cares? They're just putting a little bit of budget of their earnings into something that they like. It's the same thing. We all are consumers. We just consume at different levels. So get off, just be inspired to become good at something, create a purpose for your life, and go impact and document your opinion online like I'm doing right now. And maybe some people will relate to what you're saying, others won't, but who cares? We don't need everybody to like us. We just need a select group of people to fuck with us. And that's all you need to change your life and the life of the people you love, right? But All right, guys, it's raining. Oh my God. I just washed my car. Now I'm about to go in the rain and it's going to get dirty again. Ugh, man, this is why I don't wash my cars. Anyway. All right, guys, love y'all. Let me know if you guys fuck with this. Comment below. Please live your life, do great things, but remember that at the end, on our deathbed, we will not remember that we had a 10x return on ad spend. or that we are better than others. No, it's like, hey, how was your life? How did you live? Did you enjoy the ride? I'm about to go enjoy the ride. Take care. All right, guys, never mind. I'm gonna show you guys the fit. You guys tell me what it looks like. So, got these pants. Tucked in the little t-shirt, as you guys saw. Got this little vest from Zara. And I don't know if you guys can see the shoes, but we got Louboutin on the bottom. Let's see if you guys can see the thing. I think we're locked in. All right. Let's go. 100 million.
Hopping off a plane to a map. 100 times platinum, fuck a plat. Bulletproof, the tires run flat. Cut throat, I give 'em one chance.